Welcome to the third video in this series. In this video, we'll be talking about list, tuple, and sets. So, as of now, we have already seen what a variable is, what a method is, how to print a variable, how to store a variable. Now, what we are going to look at is list, tuple, and sets. What they are is they are a complex data type. They're a complex way of storing data. So let's say uh, we want to store grades of 100 students. So I have a student 1, 2, 3, and so on till student 100. So what will be your first approach of saving those data or storing those data? Well, as of now, you know that you can declare a variable and store the data inside that box. But for storing 100 grades of 100 students, you have to declare 100 different variables, and that can be annoying. That can be lots of lines of code for just storing 100 grades. Now think about what will you do if you have to store thousands of students of data, data of 1,000 students. Start declaring different thousand variables is not an ideal thing. Now if you want to declare, if you want to do the sum of those thousands, you have to copy each and everything, each and every variable, just like the arg1 and arg2, and sum them up one by one up to 1,000 times. That's not a good way to do it. So instead, what we have is we have list. We have a list. So let's say I have grades. So grade 1 equals to 100. Grade 2 equals to 80, and grade 3 equals to 70. So now I have those grades, but is there any other way to store those data so that it is more convenient for me to do operation on them? Well, there is a way. So I can declare a box, a variable, which is bigger, which can store multiple data inside. So I can say grade equals to 100, 80, 70. Now this grade, this box has three different values in it. It has 100, 80, and 70. All those three values in a one single box. Instead of creating three different small boxes, I created a one big box which has all those values. So if I have done this instead of doing this, if I want the total of the grade, then I have to do grade 1 plus grade 2 plus grade 3. Now just imagine if you have thousands of these variables, you have to write 1,000 different variables to sum them up. Now if I just want to sum if I want to sum the grades in here, I can just say the Python has already a function, already a method to do that. I will just say sum grade, and it will sum the values that are there inside the grade, and will store inside the list sum grade variable. Now just think, if I want to take average of this grade values, what I have to do, I have to count how many variables I have. I have 3 variables, that I can say divide by 3. What if I change something? What if I added a fourth variable, say 90? Now I have to change this one, then I have to change here too. I have to make adjustment in my code again and again when I'm changing the variable. But what if I just added another value, that is 90 over here? The sum is gonna do the same thing. The sum is gonna go into the list, into the grade list, and sum every element, sum all the elements, and store this one. So this still stands. Now if I want to take the average of it, I want how many elements are there in my list. So there is a function called len that will return the length of the list. I can say grade and it will return the length of the grade of the elements, number of elements inside. So in this case it will return 4, and the sum will be the sum of all the elements and will give me the average. If I change it to say 75, it will change the length value to 5 and the sum will be also changed. But now in this case it's not that flexible. We have to make change every time we do a small change in declaration of the variable. So the better way is to make a list. So now that we have this list declared, we have a sum and length. Let's print it out. Say print list sum. Great. Save it. Let's go here. Python. And it did print it out. The average, that is 83. So if we go to C, 100 plus 80 plus 70 plus 90 plus 75 divided by 5, that's 83. So it did give us the right answer. This is the average of all the grades. Now there are different data types. So in the grade data, if I want to store any value, let's say I have done some work in my algorithm, my program has done some things. Now I want to add a value to the grade. So there is a programmatical way to store a new value inside a list. So I can say grade dot append, and I can store another value, so another grade of another student. So I can store 88 into it, and then do a print of then do the sum and the print. I have added another 88 in here. So let's save it. Let's do one thing. Let's go over here and print grade, and let's come here and print the grade, then the sum. So over here you can see it's the grade list contained this many values, then it contained the 88. Then the average is 83 after doing all the sum and everything. So now if I want my list to be not changed after the first initialization, so we have after we have initialized the grade list, if I want it not to be changed by any code, by anyone, I can make it as a tuple. So tuple is the same thing, it's the same kind of declaration, but we have this parenthesis instead of square brackets. So if I do this, I won't be able to change the elements inside this tuple. List I can append, tuple I can't. So let's say I will run this code which has error in it. Now it will give me an error that tuple object has an attribute, no attribute append, or add, or anything. It doesn't has those methods to append something or change something. If we go back and if we have the list again, we can change each and every element. So I can say grade 0. So in a list tuple, these two data types, all these elements counting will start from 0. So this is the 0th element, this is the first element, this is the second element, this is the third, fourth, and so on. So if I say grade 0, it is pointing to this element, and I can change that element to whatever I please. I can say it 99. Let's save it and run it. So see, first it was 100, then I changed it to 99 and average got affected. Now if I make it a tuple and run the script again, it won't do it because the tuple is immutable. It can't be changed after the first initialization, so the object doesn't support item assignment. So that's the uh, difference between list and tuple. So for this video, we have talked about list and tuple. What I want you to do is try making a project, a small project where you have grades of different students and names of different students. You print the names and grades of each student and then give the sum average of the class. Try doing it. I know I'm asking you to do some things that we haven't covered, but programming is best learned by doing by yourself. We'll be going over how to do those kind of problems in the future video, but if you want to try, go ahead and try. So for now, this is it. I will see you in the next video.